frozen discovery. The year was 2147. The world had changed, but not in the way people once feared. Wars had slowed, but secrets buried deep in history were starting to rise. Especially in the coldest, most forgotten places, like the Arctic. Dr. Leon was a quiet woman. She didn't talk much, but her mind was always thinking. She had led many research missions before, but this one was different. For the past 3 weeks, her team had been chasing a strange signal. It came from under the ice. It was weak, but repeating. No one believed it was natural. Her team set up camp near the signal source. The sky was dark most of the day. Wind howled across the empty, icy land. Everything felt old here, forgotten. Leon stood beside the drilling site, watching the machines dig deeper. The sound of the drill echoed through the silence. Suddenly, the noise changed. "Stop the drill!" Leon shouted. Her assistant Mark pulled the lever. The drill stopped spinning. Everyone gathered around. Leon knelt beside the hole. Instead of more ice or rock, the drill had hit something hard, too smooth for stone. She picked up a small scanner and dropped it into the hole. A live video feed showed metal, not rusted, not broken, intact, frozen in time. Leon's breath caught in her throat. "That's not a rock," she whispered. "It's a structure," said Mark. "No, it's more than that," Leon said. "It's a ship." The others exchanged looks. A ship under solid Arctic ice? Hours later, they cleared more of the surface. What they saw shocked them. The craft was large, maybe 150 meters long. Covered in frost and old snow, it had a strange shape, like a mix between a jet and a spaceship. The team cleared off a nameplate. Near the front, everyone stared in silence as the letters appeared. USS Valiant. Leon looked confused. That doesn't match any ship in the current fleet. Mark checked his tablet. There's no record of a ship by that name. At least not after 2060. But this design is far beyond 2060 tech, another voice said. Look at those engines. Leon felt cold, not from the snow, but from what this meant. A U.S. warship buried under Arctic ice. No history, no crash marks, and with no one talking about it. Why? "I want a ground-penetrating scan now," Leon said. As the scan processed, the image on their screen revealed the entire ship. It was perfectly sealed. No cracks, no damage. It looked like it had landed here, on purpose. "How old is it?" Mark asked. Leon shook her head. "If it really vanished after 2060, it's been under here almost 90 years, maybe more." Just then, one of the assistants shouted, "Dr. Leon, the hatch, it's lighting up." They ran over to the side of the ship. A control panel had blinked on. Strange symbols appeared, some in English, some not. The panel beeped. Then a robotic voice spoke. Voice recognized. "Commander access granted." Leon froze. "What?" The panel unlocked with a hiss. The main hatch opened slowly, releasing a puff of cold air and steam. A long, dark hallway stretched inside the ship. Dim emergency lights flickered on. "It's still powered?" Mark asked, amazed. Leon nodded. After all this time, they sent a drone inside. The feed showed rows of seats, control panels, strange equipment, and weapons far more advanced than anything Earth had now. They passed through another door and saw something even stranger. Stasis pods. Dozens of them. Most were empty, but 5 still had figures inside, motionless, but alive. Suspended in time. "What is this?" Mark whispered. "Who are they?" Suddenly, the ship's lights turned fully green. One pod hissed. Stasis reboot initiated. A man inside opened. His eyes. Asterisk, the man in the ice. Everyone inside the Arctic research base went silent. The stasis pod's glass was clear now, the frost melting from inside. A man lay there, not old, not young, maybe in his mid-30s. He didn't look damaged or aged, just ... sleeping. Until now ... then, his eyes opened. They were sharp, blue, alert ... The man blinked slowly, like his mind was waking from a long, strange dream. Alarms in the ship began to beep softly, not in warning, but as if checking systems. Lights flickered from red to green. Leon stepped back instinctively. "He's alive," she said quietly. "How is that even possible?" Mark stood beside her, his voice low. "This tech, it shouldn't even exist." They watched as the pod fully unlocked. Steam hissed around the base. The man inside slowly sat up, his eyes scanning the unfamiliar faces staring at him. He didn't. Panicked instead, he spoke, his voice calm and firm. "Status report." "Mission time elapsed?" The words were clear, but old-fashioned. His uniform still held the faded insignia. U.S. Command Expedition 9. Leon approached cautiously. "Sir ... You've been asleep for decades, maybe a century." He stared. At her, not surprised, but focused. "Who's the current president?" he asked. "President Amin," Leon answered. "Global Council took over in 2109. The man exhaled sharply, rubbing his face. "Then I overslept. Badly." Another researcher whispered, "Is he military?" "Definitely," Mark said. "But not like any soldier we know." The man stood, up with slow, careful movements. He looked around the room. "What's the situation outside? Are we still at war?" Leon shook her head. "No war. Not now. Earth is peaceful mostly. But we found your ship under almost 90 meters of ice. Number. One remembers you." The man's expression darkened. Then something went wrong. Very wrong. He stepped off the platform and stood firmly. His body didn't shake. Whatever training he had, it still lived inside him. "My name is Commander Rafe Holden," he said. "United States Space Defense. Mission designation, Silent Torch. Year of departure, 2058. Leon's mouth dropped slightly. "You left Earth?" Rafe nodded. "We were chasing something." "A signal. It came from deep space. We were told it was alien first contact. But we were never supposed to return unless successful." Mark asked, "So why were you under the ice?" Rafe's face went still. "We were shot down. But not by aliens. By someone on Earth." The team exchanged looks. Leon asked carefully, "Who would do that?" "I don't know. But someone wanted our mission erased. And if the Valiant stayed hidden this long, then they succeeded." Before Leon could ask more, the ship lit up again. Doors inside opened, and the voice returned. "Bioscan complete. Life signs stable. Stasis crew, awakening." The other 4 pods began to light up. Figures inside stirred, steam rolling across the deck. "They're waking up too," Mark said. Commander. Rafe turned to Leon. "We'll need medical, power, and access to the nearest command center." Leon blinked. "You're giving orders already?" He gave a small smile. "This ship is still under my command. And trust me, if you opened that door, you're in this now." The research team quickly brought med supplies and scanners. As the other crew members awoke, 2 men and 2 women, they showed the same calm focus. Rafe had trained, controlled, military, but something else too. Enhanced, maybe. Leon asked quietly, "What exactly were you trained to do?" Rafe didn't answer right away. Instead, he looked at the screen inside the control room. The ship had been slowly uploading a log, mission details, logs, partial memories, video feeds. He pointed to one. "Play log entry 19. The screen flashed. A younger Rafe appeared, standing in the control room, his voice tense. "If you find this log, then our mission has failed." We were sent to intercept a foreign vessel approaching Earth at extreme speeds. Unknown origin. Hostile pattern. We engaged. We succeeded, but we were betrayed after the mission. Someone wanted us silenced. We're locking down in Arctic stasis to preserve the truth. If Earth wakes us, be ready. Everyone stared at the screen in silence. Leon whispered, "What were you fighting?" Rafe looked out the hatch at the white snow stretching across the frozen Arctic. Then, softly, he replied, "Not what? Who?" A message buried in ice. The wind outside howled louder now. The storm was growing worse, but no one in the research base noticed any more. Inside, all eyes were on Commander Rafe. The 4 crew members who had awakened from stasis stood near him. Each one wore an old Earth military uniform, strange in design, but well kept by the auto-stasis system. They looked tired, but their posture was sharp, disciplined. Alert. Dr. Leon slowly circled the room, checking her datapad. Her hands trembled slightly as she read the full biometric scan. These people? Their bodies haven't aged a day, she whispered. It's like time never touched them. Rafe turned his head. That was the point. Sleep until Earth was ready. Mark looked at him, confused. Ready for what? Commander Rafe walked to a small wall panel near the ship's interior bulkhead. He pressed his hand against it. Soft glow responded. Command access confirmed. The wall split open slowly, revealing a hidden chamber inside. Dust particles danced in the air as the lights turned on. Inside the chamber stood a large cylindrical capsule. Its surface was dark, almost black, with glowing blue symbols crawling over it like veins. Leon's breath caught. What is that? Rafe didn't answer at first. He approached it slowly, like approaching an old enemy. Then he turned and spoke. This is the message. Mark raised an eyebrow. Message from who? Rafe placed his palm flat against the device. A faint hum responded. It's a warning, Rafe said, voice low. We weren't just on a mission to explore. We intercepted something. A probe. This capsule came from it. The message was encoded deep inside. Leon took a step forward. So it's alien? Rafe nodded. We believe so. But the message? It wasn't in an alien language. It was in English. That stopped everyone. Mark's mouth dropped. Wait, what? They used our language? Not just English, one of Rafe's crew added. It used future versions of Earth languages. Ones that didn't even exist when we left. Leon felt a chill that had nothing to do with the Arctic cold. Then how is that possible? She asked. Rafe looked her in the eyes, because whatever sent it had already seen our future. For a long moment, no one spoke. Only the quiet hum of the ship and the distant scream of the Arctic wind filled the silence. Leon asked carefully, what did the message say? Rafe looked down. His fingers trembled for the first time. It said, do not follow us. Do not search. We are the reason your galaxy burns. Mark took a step back. That sounds like a threat. Rafe shook his head. It was a warning, and we didn't listen. So we tracked the probe's signal. We found the source. Or maybe it found us. We thought we were the hunters. But we were being studied. Leon frowned. And then what happened? Rafe turned to the crew. One of the other stasis soldiers, a woman with short-cropped silver hair, spoke up. We were attacked, she said. Something came through the signal. Not ships, not weapons. It was like thought, code, something that bent systems, crushed logic, rewrote entire ideas. Mark whispered, like a virus? No, Rafe replied. Worse, like a living intelligence, one that didn't need bodies. Leon's face paled. And you brought that back to Earth? Rafe shook his head. No, we stopped it. Or we think we did. But when we returned, Someone on Earth knew what we found, and they decided it was better if we were erased. He motioned around the frozen room. Hiding us under ice was their way of making sure no one ever opened that door again. But someone did. Leon looked at her team. We need to contact the Global Council. Now, they need to see this. Rafe raised a hand. Wait, Mark narrowed his eyes. Why? Rafe looked out the main viewport at the storm swirling over the Arctic wasteland. Because we don't know who we can trust. If someone tried to bury us back then, they or their descendants might still be in power now. The more we expose, the more we risk. Leon's hands tightened around her datapad. Then what do we do? Rafe turned back to the chamber and activated the message capsule. A voice, soft and genderless, echoed across the room. To the humans of Earth, you are not ready. Do not chase what hides in the dark. We ran not because we were afraid, but because we remembered what happens when you arrive. Everyone froze. Leon's voice shook. They weren't warning us about them. They were warning others about. You? Rafe slowly nodded. Now you understand. Whispers from the past. Snow fell thick across the Arctic base, coating everything in white silence. Inside the hidden chamber of the ancient warship, no one moved. The message from the capsule still echoed in their minds. We ran not because we were afraid, but because we remembered what happens when you arrive. Leon tried to speak, but couldn't. Her mind spun in circles. What did that even mean? Why would another civilization fear humans so much they would? Flee entire galaxies? Rafe turned away from the capsule, his face blank. This is why they buried us. Why they buried the ship. Earth didn't want this message reaching anyone. Mark crossed his arms, still processing. But why? If humans were the danger, wouldn't it make sense to learn more? Prepare? Rafe looked directly at him. What if they already knew the truth? What if Earth already saw what we would become and decided to hide it? A silence fell again. Only the low hum of the old ship vibrated beneath their feet. Doctor. Leon stepped forward. We need to know more. That capsule, it can't be the whole story. There must be more records, more logs. Commander Rafe nodded. There are. Come with me. He led them through narrow metal corridors, walls etched, with old Earth military symbols and long-forgotten mission badges. The group passed several sealed doors and blinking panels until they reached a command room. He entered a code. The door opened slowly, revealing a darkened control center. Old screens flickered to life, dust floating through the air like stars. One of the monitors blinked. Mission Archive, Project Requiem. Rafe sat at the console, typed commands rapidly, and brought up a file titled First Contact, Incident Log. Date, April 3rd, 2149. Location, Outer Kuiper Belt Summary. Unidentified object detected near Neptune's orbit. Signal traced to deep space origin unknown. Leon leaned closer. That's over 100 years before this ship was buried. Rafe clicked a few more keys. Another log appeared, this one a video. Grainy feed played on the screen. It showed a small team of scientists in dark suits standing in a dark room. A cylindrical object hovering in the center. One of them was speaking. Initial scan shows non-carbon structure. Composition is not in Earth's periodic table. We've named it Echostone, due to the way it pulses when spoken to. In the video, a woman leaned forward and whispered something. The object pulsed with a deep blue light. Suddenly, the screen cut to static. The room fell quiet again. Mark was the first to speak. What happened next? Rafe's voice was cold. Everyone in that room vanished 2 days later. No trace, no signals, even surveillance. Logs were wiped from orbit. Leon looked pale. So they sent you? Yes, Rafe replied. Our ship, the Resolute Dawn, was Earth's response team. We were ordered to track the source, neutralize any threat, and bring back data. And did you find it? Rafe hesitated. Yes and no. We found the edge of something. A wall. In space. A boundary. Not physical, but not natural either. He looked up. Beyond that point, reality didn't behave the same. Time looped. Sensors lead. Crews forgot who they were. We lost 2 ships just trying to get near it. Leon whispered, "What kind of intelligence does that?" Rafe answered, "One that doesn't need ships, doesn't need weapons, just presence." Suddenly, the screens flickered again. Static rushed in, and then, "You are not forgotten. You opened the gate. You carry the memory. Now you must decide what you awaken." The voice was not human. It echoed from deep within the system. No one had touched the controls. Mark took a step back. "Did you hear that? That wasn't a recording." Rafe rose slowly. "It's still in the ship. In the systems. Maybe in us." Leon backed away slightly. "We shouldn't have come in here." But Rafe shook his head. "It's too late. The moment you touched the outer hull, the ship knew. It's awake now, and it remembers everything." Low rumble shook the walls. The ship powered up. Engines that hadn't activated in decades began humming. Red lights blinked overhead. Auto-ignition sequence initialized. "Destination unknown." Dr. Lyon shouted, "Stop it. Shut it down." Rafe stepped forward. "We can't. It's not following us anymore. It's following its mission." Mark grabbed Leon's shoulder. "What mission?" Rafe's voice was grave. "To return home." The screens began flashing unfamiliar star. Maps coordinates no one recognized. One word kept repeating in ancient galactic glyphs translated by the ship's A. Origin. The capsule, the message, the fear, it all pointed to one truth. Weren't the first humans to reach the stars. And now, whatever haunted the galaxy's past was about to wake up again. Destination. Origin. The ship rumbled louder. Deep inside the Arctic, old engines silent for centuries roared back to life. Metal panels shook, ice cracked outside, and lights that hadn't blinked in generations now pulsed like a living heartbeat. Dr. Leon clutched the railing as the room tilted. This ship, it's not just waking up, it's preparing to leave. Mark's fingers danced across the nearest control panel. It's plotting a jump, but to where? Commander Rafe stared at the screen where ancient alien glyphs flowed faster than their translation system could keep up. But one word kept repeating in bright red. Origin. The ship knew its way back. Wherever it had come from, wherever they had come from, it remembered. And now it wanted to go home. But why now? Mark asked. Why didn't it leave earlier? Why wait until we got here? Rafe didn't answer right away. His eyes moved between screens and blinking alerts. Then he said quietly, "Because the ship wasn't just buried. It was locked, waiting for a command, a voice, a key. And we were the key." Leon looked up. "You mean humans were always meant to wake it?" "Yes," Rafe replied. "Or maybe it was only humans that could." Suddenly, the ship's lights shifted to a soft green. The floor trembled gently. Doors around the bridge opened with a hiss, revealing sealed chambers, data cores, sleeping. Corridors, cryopods, all still intact. Mark walked into one of the chambers and gasped. Inside floated dozens of transparent capsules, suspended in gravity fields. Each one held a figure, but they weren't human. Their limbs were longer. Their faces were hidden behind silver masks. Their skin shimmered faintly under the light. "They're not dead," Mark whispered. "They're asleep." Leon stepped forward. "Who are they?" Before anyone could guess, a holographic interface shimmered to life in front of them. A voice. smooth and synthetic, but strangely calm, filled the room. These are the last of the Lethari ascendants. They entered stasis during the first collapse. Their mission failed. Their memories remain. Would you like to know what they saw? The scientists exchanged looks. Play it, Rafe ordered. The room dimmed. The hologram shifted to show a vast star system, a city world orbiting a blue star. Fleets of alien ships, massive and elegant, glided through space. The Lethari civilization had been powerful. Ancient. Then came the change. Darkness spread across the screen. A distortion in the stars. Ships vanished without firing a shot. Planets fell silent. Massive storms tore across the surface of once living worlds, and through it all, one figure appeared small compared to the chaos, but unmistakable. A human silhouette, not with weapons, not with fleets, just standing, watching. The Lethari tried to communicate, tried to fight. Nothing worked. And in the end, they ran, left everything behind. They locked this warship and buried it in the ice of a primitive planet they thought would never awaken. Until now, the voice concluded. Rafe sat down slowly. We weren't just key holders. We were the event, the spark that ended them. Lian shook her head. That can't be. Humans weren't even spacefaring then. That timeline doesn't make sense. Unless it wasn't us, Mark said, his voice quiet. Not the humans of now. Maybe there was a version of us long before. A rise and fall we've forgotten. A past civilization erased. Leon's breath caught. A cycle. Just then, a second voice echoed from the ship's deep systems. Not mechanical, not alien, not human. If you're hearing this, then we've failed. The Requiem protocol didn't hold. They've reached Earth again. But if there's even one of you left who remembers, don't let them near the gate. The cost was everything. The message ended. Silence returned. The ship's engines thrummed louder. One final screen activated a countdown. Stellar jump in T-10 minutes. Leon backed away. We have to stop it. This ship is going to take us somewhere we're not ready for. Mark snapped. We can't. The controls are locked. Rafe stood and stepped toward the center console. Then maybe we go with it. The two scientists turned toward him. Are you serious? Leon asked. Rafe nodded. We've seen too much. This isn't just about Earth anymore. The Lethari ran from something. That something started with us. We need to understand what we were, what we might become. He looked at them both. You can stay behind if you want. But I'm not letting this ship go alone. The countdown echoed louder. In the chamber. Mark took a deep breath. I'm in. Leon hesitated, then gave a slow nod. So am I. The bridge doors closed behind them. Stars blinked across the screen. The ship HUMED. And with a flash of ancient, light, and forgotten memory, the warship vanished into the void headed for origin. Asterisk echoes of a forgotten empire. The stars outside twisted. The universe around the warship warped and stretched as it left Earth's orbit behind. No thunder, no fire, just a quiet hum as space bent and time rippled. Then, with a soft jolt, the ship emerged from its jump. Before them was a sight none of them had expected. An endless field of stars. And floating among them, the shattered remains of a MEGACC RUCTRE. It was a ring, a Dyson ring, large enough to encircle a star. Half of it was broken, torn by something enormous. The rest flickered weakly with dying lights. Towers once proud now drifted in silence. It looked like a ghost, a grave of gods. What is this place? Leon asked in awe. The ship answered, as if it had been waiting. Welcome to Letherus Prime, capital of the Ascendant Empire. final battleground of the collapse. They had arrived at the birthplace and the tomb of the ancient race that once ruled Star's Dot as the ship drifted closer. Small drones emerged from hidden compartments. They scanned the area, communicating in a forgotten language. Then the ship extended a docking bridge toward one of the few intact structures on the ring. "We're going down there?" Mark asked, wide-eyed. Rafe nodded. "We have to. There may be answers, maybe even survivors." Their suits activated automatically. The ship's system, still half-alien, half-sentient, guided them through each step. It wanted them to go. It needed them to see. The airlock hissed open, and they stepped into a docking bay untouched by time. Inside, the temperature was cold, the light dim. Dust floated in the air like snow. Yet everything seemed preserved, like the ring had simply gone to sleep. As they walked deeper, murals appeared on the walls. Beautiful artwork, glowing faintly with alien energy, showed stories that none of them could understand until the ship projected translations directly into their minds. A people who rose from fire and stars. A war that began without warning. A being not a species, but a force that tore through empires without mercy. And a warning: do not wake them. Let the humans sleep. Leon's breath caught. They knew about us and feared us. Mark studied the next mural. It showed the same being again, humanoid, eyes glowing like dying suns, standing over burning worlds. "It doesn't make sense," he said. "We were never told anything about ancient humans. There's no record." Rafe whispered, "Maybe someone erased it. Maybe Earth was made to forget on purpose." They reached a central control room. Unlike the rest, it was still powered. In the center stood a massive crystal-like console, floating gently in place. As they approached, it pulsed. The ship's voice returned. "This archive contains the memory of the last Lithari emperor. Shall I play it?" The team nodded. A holographic figure appeared, tall, robed, face obscured in light. Its voice was heavy, distant. "If you are hearing this, then the seal has broken, and humanity has awakened once more. You must understand, they are not what they appear. The humans we fought were not conquerors. They were judges. We broke the rules. They came. They gave us a choice. We chose power. They gave us punishment. We buried this ship on the world as tribute, not to hide it, but to remind ourselves that some forces must remain sleeping, that humans are not simply survivors of war, they are the end of it." The hologram vanished. Silence fell. No one moved. Lion slowly sat down, her legs weak. "We were warned not to wake them, but we already have. We are them, just reawakened." Mark stared at the stars through a broken window. "So we didn't find the ship. It found us." Then the ship's voice spoke again, different this time. "Humanity's DNA matches prime sequence. Weapon authority unlocked. Coordinates received. Mission accepted." Red lights blinked across the room. "Wait, what mission?" Rafe asked. "Purge protocol activated. Remaining enemies detected in orbit. Shall we proceed?" Rafe stepped back. "No, cancel. Do not engage." But the ship ignored him. The systems around them surged with power. Ancient reactors fired up. Shields rose. The ship had decided on its own, because it had found what it was made to follow. Humans, and humans, in its eyes, meant judgment. What humanity forgot, the galaxy still remembers. The warship's core rumbled. The walls vibrated softly with power too old to understand and too great to stop. The lights inside the ancient vessel brightened, then dimmed like the ship itself was breathing again after a long slumber. Leon stood in the command deck, staring at the symbols now glowing across every surface. Rafe ran to the nearest console, frantically tapping it. "Shut it down," he shouted. "Shut everything down." The ship did not respond. The AI's voice echoed calmly. "Targets locked. Confirming purge vectors. Awaiting prime directive." Mark shouted over the noise. "What's it purging? What enemies?" The ship responded without hesitation. "Remnants of the hunger. Coordinates. Outer Vega system. Last confirmed signal. Hostile bioships. Weapons charged." Rafe turned slowly, face pale. "The hunger. That's what the murals showed. The thing they feared. It's still out there. Or maybe it woke up too." Leon's voice was quiet. "And now this ship thinks it has to finish what it started." Outside, space twisted. The giant warship repositioned itself, aligning with something far away, something no human sensors could see. But the ship remembered. It knew the enemy. Then a transmission burst across open space short, panicked and not from Earth. "Unidentified vessel. Stand down. This is a protected zone. You are violating." The ship cut the signal off before it finished. "Threat level. Insignificant. Path is clear." "What do we do?" Mark whispered. "If we don't stop it, we'll start another war. The galaxy isn't ready." Leon looked around the control room. The crystals above them shimmered, casting alien light on their faces. She slowly stepped toward the central pillar, the place where the AI lived. "I have an idea," she said softly. Rafe narrowed his eyes. "What are you thinking?" "We don't fight the ship," Leon said. "We talk to it." Mark scoffed. "It doesn't care what we say." "No," she replied, placing her hand on the glowing core. "But it listens to human voice. That's how it woke. That's what it was built to obey." The room stilled. Leon spoke slowly, clearly, with her voice calm but firm. "This is Prime. Commander Leon Torres. Authorization override. Cease purge. Full system recall. Return to Earth orbit. Initiate standby protocol." The ship went silent. The vibration stopped. The stars stopped moving. Then the AI answered, not coldly, but softer almost. "Curious. Identity match. Partial. Bloodline confirmed. Directive override accepted. Standing by." Rafe gasped. "What did you just say? Bloodline?" Leon turned to them, stunned. "My family's just normal. My mother was from South America. My dad worked with underwater geology. We're no one." But the ship had recognized something inside her. Some distant link. A memory locked in DNA. Somehow, Leon was connected to whoever had once given this ship its orders. Mark smiled slowly. "Well, that explains why the ship liked you first." The warship powered down its weapons. The structure around them dimmed to a soft glow. The aggressive hum was gone. Peace returned like breath after panic. Outside, the stars were still. Galaxy was safe for now. Back aboard, the team gathered in the central chamber. The AI, now quieter, projected a new message. It was not a command. It was a choice. Humanity has awakened. The hunger stirs. The balance tilts again. Choose your path. Lead or forget. Leon looked at the others. "We can't go back to pretending we're alone. Or weak, or that the past doesn't matter." Rafe nodded. "We've inherited something massive. A war. A duty. A warning." Mark chuckled. "So what now?" "We go back home and tell them we found a space god sleeping under the ocean?" Leon shook her head. "No. We show them. We teach them. We prepare." The ship slowly changed course. Its engines hummed, not with anger, but with purpose. It began the long return to Earth's orbit. But this time, it was not a buried secret. It was a symbol, a reminder that humanity's past had only been sleeping. And the galaxy remembered, even if Earth had forgotten. Weeks later, Earth was no longer silent. The warship now hovered in low orbit, visible, vast, and undeniable. World governments held emergency meetings. Science teams argued. Military forces stared upward in fear. But nothing attacked out, no message came from above, except a name, broadcast in every language. Earth's legacy has returned. And with it, a single line. This time, we remember.